I'm overwhelmed with what the Lord has on my heart in reference to outreach and what Church Without Walls is doing. So sometimes it's hard for the church to understand what poverty looks like. They think it looks like what's on television. But knowing poverty, myself and Dad, we have a heart for people because we experienced it. We lived it. We know what it looks like. We know that it's not what you see on television. These are people who work. They work hard. They work every day. But at the end of that day, they only make maybe $9,000 a year, sometimes only 19. It's still poverty. So when you think about the people that you encounter, people who have needs, you have to think about these are people who have pride. They still want the same things that you want. They still want the things for their children that you want for your children. So being a part of this ministry is not just, it birthed from them and from Rhema, but when you're able to actually, with your hands, see the work of God, like change someone's life, like remove an aspect of stress from someone's life because they couldn't pay a bill, or they want to be able to pay for photos for their kids every year and they can't afford those little things that we take for granted. I love being on the front lines with Mom and Dad. When Dad says, hey, we're going to go to Walmart and we're going to pass out some gift cards for people for back to school, I'm with them. I'm like, let's go, Dad. And I get excited. And when you have a moment to be in Walmart, in the line, and you see the people and they're stressing, the kid is, acting up beside them, and they're trying to calculate, how can I pay for all 6 of my kids, and I only have this amount of money. And you see them and you approach them with a gift card for Walmart so that they can get the school supplies. And you see the shock on their face. And you see, like, they're kind of looking around like, are you serious? You're going to give me money? I didn't ask. I didn't have to stand in a line. I didn't have to go and fill out a form. You're just going to give me money to help my family? That is life-changing. That is life-changing. That's living the scriptures. And so anytime that Dad will come and he will have these crazy ideas, and I'll just stop and I'll go, yes, Dad, whatever it is, let's go. I'm with you, because I know that if someone were to do that for me when I was a child, that would have been such a blessing. I would have understood and experienced God's love. So I have these letters here from people that we've had interactions from, but I also wanted to share with you some of the personal frontline interactions. Dad knows a lot of people. He meets people, just in the grocery store. He has that personality. So sometimes, the number of people that he ministers to within a week, we can't even kind of calculate because there's so many people who know Pastor Dennett. So sometimes he will say, I know this girl, she's about to get her lights cut off. And so he'll talk to me, or we'll work together to figure out how we can help. But one day, Dad just called me and said, hey, I have a lady. She has needs for her family. Can you take her shopping? And I'm like, okay. He brought this lady to my house. I put her in the van. We went to Walmart, and I had the card, and I said, this is our limit. Let's go and get what you need. And when I had an opportunity, I don't know her, but she's in my car, and that's an opportunity for me to minister to her. So along with the money and meeting the needs, you're also addressing the spiritual aspect, also saying to them, letting them experience love. They know about Jesus, but they've never experienced the word. They never experienced love. So I remember saying to her, I said, I don't know you. This is not the state helping you. This is not your family helping you. This is God helping you. And he loves you. And that moment is priceless. Like we can minister in so many different ways, but when you actually meet a need of someone, that takes off that stress that they have when they couldn't sleep at night because everything is so overwhelming, that is ministry. That is us being the hands and feet of Jesus. And so I can read the testimonies to you, but I just want you to know what it's like on the front lines of actually being there, talking. And I'm not saying that this is for everyone, because I don't believe that everyone has the tact to talk to every person. You have to know how to talk to someone who has needs, because they have pride, and it won't even open up to you what their needs are. So when you have an opportunity with Church Without Walls to sow into our ministry, you're sowing in not only to the ministry, but to people who have hearts for people, who know how to minister to people, because this is serious. This is very serious. It's so serious when you think about all the aspects of our community and how we can help. We see so many areas, but some of the areas come down to the small things. The small things like not having your stomach growl when you have to go to school. So how can you focus on the tests when you're hungry and you're embarrassed about what you wear, or you're embarrassed about the way you smell? These are serious things. They're simple things, but they're serious things, and we are reaching out to the people on their level. And we don't leave it at just one area, because I get frustrated sometimes, just being among the people and amongst the church, when they'll say, well, why don't these people just get a job? And why don't they just pray and get the Lord? It's not that simple. It's not that simple. There's lots and lots of levels. So we're working on all the levels. We actually connect with people on so many different levels, and we want to do it however the Lord sees fit. One of the testimonies was being in I was in a Christian Bible study group online, and all people do is just share testimonies. They pray, and one of the ladies asked for prayer because she lost her job and she was overwhelmed. And so everybody said, oh, I'm sorry about your situation. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. And I said to her, I'm going to help you. Send me a message. Send me your information. And I called Dad, and we got her information, and we sent her some money to help her. She didn't ask for it. But when I did that, some of the people in the chat room said, wow, I can't believe you would just help someone you don't know. God knows her. And that started a trickle effect, because everyone else they wanted to see evangelism. We see preaching all the time. We are blessed with preaching. We need to see evangelism. We need to see people care about people and just be willing to just take that extra time or take those small steps to just do the simple things. So Dad likes to tease me, because whenever we have an opportunity to talk about Church Without Walls, I get really excited and I get really passionate. And so sometimes people will look at me funny and go, so you're a church, but you don't have a congregation? I don't really understand. And so I get excited because I say, exactly. It is completely without walls. We go and do whatever we need to do. And we partner with churches and make sure that all the needs are met. They're physical, they're spiritual, they're mental. That's the point of having connections. That's the point of being a body. So I'm not going to read the letters. I'm just going to say that there's so many individual testimonies. And with you sowing into this ministry, you are blessing people beyond you can understand. The simple things. And I grew up in St. Mary's County, and my mother worked 2 jobs, and we still were poor. And I know what poor feels like. I know when you can't go on vacations. I know what it feels like when everyone else has what you don't have, or if you're waiting for the next paycheck before you can go and buy groceries. You're squeezing the toothpaste to the very end of the tube. That's working poor, and that's what our community has a lot of, and that's why we're happy to be able to meet all of the needs. So I just want to encourage you, and I just wanted to share some of those frontline experiences that we've had with the ministry, and there are many more. There are people who love Dad and call his cell on a regular. And he will call on the workers. I call Dan and I his workers because he likes to delegate. So he will call on us and say, hey, this is what I need you to do. Can you do it? And I'll say, yes, Dad, because we know that we are being the hands and feet of Christ. That is really what I get excited about, because I remember it from Rhema when we would go out physically. And so now I'm still able to go out physically. It's just in a different form, but we need to actually feel involved in doing the good works that Christ has called us to do. So what I'll do is I'll put these letters over by the book. So when you look at the PowerPoint that we have, that you can check out these stories written from the actual people that we've helped, because I really want you to know that it's a special ministry, but it is truly from the heart of God. So encourage you to check them out.